What's good, my people? Yeah, I just wanted to speak on what we was talking about the other day with the mother taking out bills and stuff in her daughter's name. So basically, it was the case. That's like I said, it was on like Judge Jerry Springer show or whatever. Well, he a judge, so he was a judge on the show, and yeah, pretty much the daughter was grown, and I guess the mother, she said she fell on hard times or whatever, and whatever she was doing, she decided to take out bills in her daughter's name, and I'm pretty sure she didn't pay him because they was on court because I guess the daughter wanted the money back that she was being charged or that was on her credit. It was affecting her credit and stuff because she was literally taking money out in her name into her daughter's name, and now the daughter's credit is fucked up, and she getting red flags on her accounts and stuff because the mother decided not to pay the bills. So like it's like, why would you do that to your kids and bring their credit down like that? Because as I mentioned, like what I've been learning and stuff like that. So when I have kids, I want to add them to my credit cards when they're young. So by the time they grow and become adults, they have 800 credit score because their credit score will be the same as mine because they're gonna have the same lines of credit and credit cards on their account already before they even graduate high school because I built that credit for them by adding them to my credit cards and paying off my credit card bills and paying off my bills and stuff like that to the point where they have good credit. Now, granted, she did something like that where she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take out this bill in my child's name and pay it every month to help build my child's credit." That would have been a good idea. But she did the complete opposite. She like, "Well, I don't got good credit. They probably ain't gonna approve me, or Lord knows what else she got going on." So she's like, "I'm gonna take credit out. I'm gonna take bills and credit out in my daughter's name and just not pay that shit back." That was the main problem. Like, if you paid it back, it wouldn't even have been no issues. Your daughter might probably would have not even knew about it because she wouldn't have got no letters or no calls about being in debt. And so the daughter basically found out because I guess all the bills was in her mother's address, but she was being charged for bills that she never paid. And the main issue I had, well, it's probably not the main issue, but it's the next issue, is that she decided to take like one of the bills like for a cable bill and stuff like that. Like, cable is like the least necessity. Cable's not a necessity. You do not need cable. That's not needed. You do not need cable. So if you got a cable bill and you put it in somebody else's name because you can't afford it, that's a whole nother problem. Like I was telling my mom, because I was watching it with her, I was like, she need to be spending that time that she used to watch cable and stuff like that and read some books or try to figure out how to get another job or something in order to pay these other bills in order to afford cable, instead of trying to finesse and take bills out in her daughter's name and put her daughter in debt and mess up her credit also. It's like, figure out how to build your credit and get it better where you ain't got to be trying to finesse your own family. And that's my whole thing, is like, why take advantage of your own family, especially if your family doing right by you or they help you out. I can understand if your family messed up and some stuff happened, y'all have some issues going on. But if your family generally cares about you, they do right by you, they treat you right, they respect you, they do the best they can by you, then why take advantage of that? Why take advantage of them when all they've been trying to do is help you? Even if they don't have the most information or knowledge to give you all the information you always need on things, as long as they're there and supportive, why mess that up? Like, if you have a good support system. And so I just wanted to speak on that because I just wanted to kind of bring attention to, like, we got to start looking at the blueprint to make our kids great from the beginning versus taking advantage of having kids and trying to use that to finesse the system and get away with stuff. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, just figure out ways to help your kids have an advantage in life. That's why I was saying, like, take out, an investment account for your kids. Like, for me personally, my goal is when I have kids, I want to take out an investment account for them the day they're born and put, I don't know, either like $100 a month or You know, it depends on how much I'm making, but like $100 to $200 a month into an investment account for them. You know what I mean? So by the time they graduate, I forgot what the numbers exactly was, but I think it was between $20,000 to $50,000 you should have for your kid if you did that. So, you know, just the fact that your money gonna grow over time, and you know you'll have enough money to pay their tuition, you know, for at least a couple years, or you know they can use that money for something to build a business or whatever they're trying to do. If they're not trying to go to school, get a trade, get a skill, open up a business, whatever they want to do, you can either, you know, give them the money or you can help, you know, leverage the money to what they're trying to do and help them out. So that's my goal, is to, you know, have a platform and a foundation for my kids where they can they'll be straight and they can kind of do what they want. Versus like when I, you know, got out of school and stuff, I was in debt. I was in a lot of debt. I ain't really under, you know, I learned finances over the course of college, and that's what messed me up also. Because if I understood finances before I went to college, I would have probably waited to either go to college, or I probably would have did a few things differently. Like I wouldn't have stayed in dorms and things like that. But that's for another discussion. We'll talk about that in another topic if y'all want, about, you know, preparing for college and things, do's and don'ts of college, and you know how to succeed in college. We could talk about that in another discussion. And that, you know, some people really don't even need to go to college, and you know the way people push it, depending on what you going to school for, you don't need to be pushing the agenda of going to college. But that's another topic for another day. But in general, just to have that strong foundation for your family, and they're already at a disadvantage if they're black or a minority in general. So why give them even more of a crutch by, you know, messing up their credit and stuff like that? Now you just putting more disabilities and more disadvantages on them when we already have to work harder to achieve certain things in general. So that's why I want to put my kids in the best situation possible once I start having kids, because I want them to, you know, even if they had a disadvantage, they have the platform and they at that level where, you know, they gonna be at equal playing field, because I'm gonna know exactly where the playing field should be at, and I'm gonna put them there. You know what I mean? Even if, you know, they might not, you know, have the right skin complexion for certain things, or, you know, people might be trying to judge them based on, you know, them being black or whatever, or minority, but they gonna have all the same knowledge and tools that these white people have, you know. Because like I remember when I was in school, I thought I wasn't, you know, smart enough to be in college because of, you know, some of the kids seemed like they really understood the course more than me. Come to find out, they just was in a better school system, and they was taught more stuff during high school, so they just knew more shit. Another topic, like I said, we talk about college a different day. But I want my kids to be at that level when if they decide to go to school, or they have all the tools and information to decide, is school worth it, or if they need to just wait a few years and figure things out to if they want to go to school. Because nothing's wrong with going to school, but I need you to know why you going and what you trying to do, instead of, you know, a lot of people waste their time and go for, you know, a year or two, fail, and then try to go back a few years later after they realize what they want to do. You know, I want to avoid all that stuff. But anyways, you know, I keep going back into school, so I'm just cut this short. But all in all, I just wanted to say, support your kids, help build them up, and do not try to tear them down and take advantage of, you know, you having kids to try to finesse the system. You know, don't use your kids to finesse the system. Just do better and try to work harder, you know. That's all I'm saying, man. And try to help build your kids up, not tear them down. Because the one thing she said that was so messed up was, she said, I could have had an abortion, and you should be lucky you here. That was very heartbreaking to hear her say that to her daughter. So, and the other thing that was heartbreaking, she tried to pull the black card on why she took out bills in her daughter's name. She said, that's what we do, Judge. That's just what we do. That's not what we do. That's not, I'm not allowing that. That's not the narrative I'm pushing. That's not the agenda I'm ever going to push. I want to see everybody succeed. I want to see everybody in the black community succeed, do well, and not even have to even think of that as an idea, is to put stuff in their kids' names. I don't want to see that at all. I want to see you, like I said, put in investment accounts in your kids' names, you know, portfolios, assets, stuff like that. Like they said, Nas put his daughter's name on the song credits so that she can get royalties from that. I want to see stuff like that. I do not want to see you trying to take advantage of your kids, putting them on bills because you can't afford to pay them, and some of those bills you shouldn't even have in the first place because they're not necessities. Are you trying to live beyond your means? You want a new iPhone and you want, you know, an AT&T phone plan when really you should be getting, you know, a prepaid plan with a regular smartphone. Instead of trying to get the top of the line new phone, get the most simple free phone they got at the lowest rate for the lowest plan you can get if you ain't got the money like that. You shouldn't be getting cable. You shouldn't be getting no bills that's not necessary for you in order to survive. Like necessities like water, gas, electricity. All that other stuff is not necessary. Granted, you probably might need Wi-Fi at this point because you probably need a laptop or something to kind of do things in society, but you do not need things like cable. You don't need a high-end phone. You don't need none of that stuff. You might want it, but if you want it, work harder to get it. Don't be trying to finesse and take advantage of your kids to get it. That's not what we doing here, man. I'm not condoning that. I'm trying to push something completely different. I want to see y'all be great and do things in the way these rich American white people do it. I want y'all to do it the exact same way. The way all these rich people do things, I want y'all to do stuff that way. I want to give y'all that type of game and that type of knowledge where y'all moving like these rich people. And that's what I'm learning. I didn't know none of this stuff growing up. I would never imagine if you told me I could make $1 million in the stock market. I would never believe that. But I've literally seen people over the past year make $100,000 in 1 year in the stock market. So it's definitely possible. You just gotta know what you're doing, and you gotta figure out what your interests are and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to put work into. So you can really do this stuff. You just gotta put in the work, the time, the effort, and listen. The main thing is listening. You gotta listen and apply. Listen and apply. Don't just listen and not do nothing. Listen and apply. Apply everything that people are telling you and do that. You know what I mean? That's why I follow like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the richest investor ever. And if you look at the way he moves, he's just consistent and he's stable. He doesn't jump in, try to make quick flips. And that's the problem. A lot of people try to invest money in the stocks. They're trying to make quick flips. Ain't no quick. You could try to do quick flips, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to end up burning you because you're going to lose out on more plays than you winning in. And that's what I tried to do at first. And I learned my lesson on that. So I stopped doing that and I consistently just invest. Like, you know, some people call it like cost dollar average, where you basically just put in a certain amount of money every month. And so that's the way to go, is to kind of just learn companies you're interested in, see how they growing, how they profiting, and are they good companies to invest in the future. If they are, just put money in them. You can always take money back out if they, you know, stop, if they plateau or they reach a peak. But just be consistent and look at good companies. Don't just try to, oh, I heard this company gonna go up next week, let me throw some money in that, and then they could go down the next week. So you got to make sure you really paying attention to all these companies you're investing in, and you know where you putting your money at. But my bad, I'm going on a rant, but I just want to see y'all be great. Hey, if y'all like this, man, tell a friend. Like I said, send more comments about suggesting on topics. I'm happy to help whatever I can. End of the day, like I said, the motto is "Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody's black," man. I want to see y'all succeed. I want to see everyone succeed. I want to see y'all all be great. I want to see everyone be great. Everybody who's at a disadvantage, who don't know this, who didn't grow up privileged, who didn't grow up with all this wealth and access to wealth and the connections to learn about that stuff. I want to help y'all to get that knowledge in that game. So, you know, I'm just trying to show love, support my people, and, you know, hopefully y'all support me, support the brand, tell a friend about us, and, you know, hey, it's Sue me, 1865.com. That's the brand, man. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody just black. Hey, we out. One love.